Chris here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my TBR for DesertAthon. So this is a month-long readathon hosted by Esme from Bookish Buddies. I will link her channel and the announcement video in the description below, along with the DesertAthon Twitter. So we have a journey that we're going to be going on, and there's the long way and the short way, and I'm going to do the long way. So we start at the resting place, and from there, we are going to go to the dig site. At the dig site, the prompt you need to complete is TBR vet. So for this, I'm going to read The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. This has been on my TBR for ages. It says, she is the most powerful genie of all. He is a boy from the streets. Their love will shake the world. When Aladdin discovers Zara's genie lamp, Zara is thrust back into a world she hasn't seen in hundreds of years. A world where magic is forbidden and Zara's very existence is illegal. She must disguise herself to stay alive using ancient shape-shifting magic until her new master has selected his 3 wishes. But when the king of the jinn offers Zara a chance to be free of her lamp forever, she seizes the opportunity, only to discover she is falling in love with Aladdin. When saving herself means betraying him, Zara must decide once and for all, is winning her freedom worth losing her heart? As time unravels and her enemies close in, Zara finds herself suspended between danger and desire in this dazzling retelling of the Aladdin story from acclaimed author Jessica Corey. So, an Aladdin retelling. Like I said, it's been on my TBR for ages. I got it in maybe 2019. So, definitely a TBR vet, and I think it is time to check this one out because really it was one of the ones that I kept eyeing when I was looking for books to unhaul. So, it's a good time to try it out, see if I'm going to like it, and get it off my TBR. From the dig site, we will travel to the wasteland. And once there, we need to read a book that is outside of our comfort zone. And so for this, I'm going to read Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. And this is outside of my comfort zone because it's a classic. I've never read Jane Austen, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see if I enjoy this one. The synopsis of this book on Goodreads says, taken from the poverty of her parents' home in Portsmouth, Fanny Price is brought up with her rich cousins at Mansfield Park, acutely aware of her humble rank and with her cousin Edmund as her sole ally. During her uncle's absence in Antigua, the Crawfords' arrival in the neighborhood, bringing with them the glamour of London life and a reckless taste for flirtation. Mansfield Park is considered Jane Austen's first mature work, and with its quiet heroine and subtle examination of social position and moral integrity, one of her most profound. So again, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this, but it is definitely a book that is out of my comfort zone, and I feel like I haven't read enough classics this year, so I thought this was a really good shout for an out of the comfort zone prompt. From the wasteland, we will then travel to the oasis, and there you need to read a comfort read. And so for this, I'm going to read Hawkwing's Journey. So I started this for the last round of the final book support group back in March. Made it 2-3 chapters in and then set it down. So I'm going to start over because I really have no idea what was going on. And yeah, this is a super edition in the Warriors series. Warriors is one of my favorite series. It follows forest cats that live in clans and have to try to coexist. It's a huge universe at this point, and the super editions are standalones. They focus on one specific character, in this case, Hawkwing, and I'm assuming, going to go on a journey with him. So I am quite looking forward to checking this one out, seeing what it's all about, and getting to learn a bit more about Hawkwing while sliding back into a very comfortable universe for me. Once we leave the oasis, we are going to travel to the bazaar, and there you need to read a quick read. So I will be reading Wings of Fire, Escaping Peril. So this is the 8th book in the Wings of Fire series, and we're following dragons. And there's a prophecy, and this is kind of a second arc, because there was a prophecy in the first book, and it followed 5 dragons, and we got a book from each of their point of view. Now we're following new dragons, and there's a new prophecy. So I'm going to assume, let me see, yes, Peril. We're following Peril in this one, and this is a completely different dragon than the 6th and 7th book. So I think it's going to be another kind of arc of 5, and these are such quick reads. I really, really love the last one. It might have been my favorite in the entire series. So far, I'm liking this arc better than the first one. So I thought this was a great shout for quick read because it is one that I can get through relatively quickly, and it is a series I love. So seemed like a good choice to put on this TBR. When we leave the bazaar, we head to the shrine, And there you have to read a book with a gorgeous cover. So I'm going to read A Sprinkling of Murder because I just think this cover is really pretty. It's got a cat on it, which will always be something that I think adds to a cover. It's got like a fairy garden and, you know, fairy lights. It's just, it's got a fountain. I mean, everything about it screams gorgeous to me. And this is a cozy mystery with a fantastical twist because we're going to be following Courtney, and she ends up finding her neighboring dog grooming business owner dead beside her patio fountain. And she has to clear her name and find the real killer, but is about to get help from an unexpected source. So I'm hoping that this book is as amazing as its cover and that I love it. And that I have a new series to read because it's the first in a new series. So hopefully I will enjoy this and it lives up to its gorgeous cover. From the shrine, we will travel to the ruins, where you have to read a book that contains mythology or lore. And so for this, I'm going to do my reread of The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. So I have been doing a reread of all the books that Rick Riordan's written that fall in the Percy Jackson universe, or doing a first read in some cases because the companion novels I hadn't really read. And I am partway through my reread, obviously, of The Heroes of Olympus. I have been kind of loosely buddy reading it with anybody who wants to chime in. So my Discord is linked in the description below if you'd like to hop on my Discord and chat with me about my reread, or if you're reading it for the first time. I would love to know your thoughts on the series. But this follows Greek mythology, and it is just an extremely well-written series. I'm enjoying my reread immensely, and I can't wait to dive back into this one in May. And then lastly, we finish our journey by traveling from the ruins to Sunfall. And at Sunfall, you have to read a desert vibe book. So for this, I'm going to read Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the sequel to A City of Brass, and in that one we're following Nahri, who ends up getting taken by a djinn to the magical city of Daevabad and kind of has her entire world rocked because she grew up in our world and ends up finding out about like magic and djinn and all sorts of stuff. And then the second POV is Ali, who's a prince in Daevabad, and my god, do some crazy things go down in that first book. I read the first book twice now, and I'm finally continuing on with the series. I'm very, very excited to see what everybody gets up to next and how this book plays out, and excited that this is a Desert Vibes book. I did check. I was pretty sure because this isn't the first round of DesertAthon I've taken part in, and I was pretty sure this was one Esme had recommended in previous rounds, and I checked one of her old videos, and A City of Brass is on there, so I'm assuming A Kingdom of Copper, since it takes place in the same world, would also be Desert Vibes. I mean, the map inside kind of gives you desert vibes, so I'm assuming it's going to have desert vibes, and I'm very, very excited to finally be continuing on with this trilogy because it is a long time coming. So, this is my TBR for DesertAthon. I am very excited to dive into this and read some very eclectic books, considering I've got, you know, this one, which is an adult fantasy. I think it's even historical fiction, maybe. I've got a borderline middle grade YA with mythology in it. I've got an adult cozy mystery with a fantastical twist. I've got a middle grade fantasy that involves dragons, a middle grade fantasy that involves cats, my classic in Mansfield Park, and then this one, which is an Aladdin retelling. So quite the eclectic mix. And yeah, very excited to be taking part. So that's all for this video. Are you participating in DesertAthon? If so, I'd love to know your TBR. Let me know in the comments section below. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you made it this far in the video, leave me desert emojis. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!